What's up, Zoners? Today, we will be going over every single wide receiver I can think of that has the potential to break out in 2025. That's next year. I'm sure I will be forgetting some, so I want you to comment down below and put your breakout wide receivers for next year as well, all right? We will be getting into all this. I got my notes typed out, but you got to hold on for 7 seconds. All right, let's start off with the wide receivers that have the most potential to break out next season, and then we will work our way down this list. First up, Jalen McMillan catching touchdowns from Baker Mayfield. Godwin out after week 7. And go check out Godwin's numbers, man. He did not get a ton of yards. It was mostly red zone targets and touchdowns. That's where he got his points. Jalen had 7 targets after Godwin left, 8 targets the next game, and then he got injured, did not return, until week 12? Started breaking out again week 14 with 7 targets and 2 touchdowns. Touchdowns in every game starting week 14. So that is the true Godwin role. The slot red zone target for Baker Mayfield in this offense, man. 7 touchdowns in 5 games to end the season. Holy shit. Godwin, free agent this offseason. If he does not come back, dude, Jalen McMillan will be a steal next year. 3rd round rookie draft pick. So he was a rookie, man. 3rd round draft pick. This team has invested into him. Holy shit, he looked the part. Next up, Xavier Worthy. He was a bust, dude. He was a bust. We saw him take that 1 touchdown, in like the first game of the season? And that was it. That's all she wrote. Well, guess what, man? He started doing well again until week 15. He started doing well again with no games of more than 8 targets and 8 weeks of outside the wide receiver 45, dude, out of the 13 games played. So a huge bust. 31 targets and 2 touchdowns week 15 through 17. That is the fantasy playoffs, man. This guy was one of the best wide receivers in fantasy football playoffs. He was a 1st-round rookie. The Buffalo Bills gave up their draft pick and let the fucking Kansas City Chiefs pick up Xavier Worthy. All right, so we have Hollywood Brown. He made his return the last week or whatever. That fool still had like fucking 10 targets, man. So Xavier Worthy getting targeted a ton at the end of the season. That's what we like to see out of rookies. Rashee Rice suspension. We need to pay attention to that, all right? See how long he is suspended. I think he committed multiple felonies. I don't know, man. Maybe 8 games? So that should speed up Xavier Worthy's potential to break out. Next up, Rome Odunze, top 10 rookie draft pick this year. So he should have been one of the best rookie wide receivers this year, but he had a tough time, man. He had DJ Moore, Keenan Allen atop the depth chart. So that's why he did not break out this season. 3 games with 10 plus targets. So he did have his games depending on the defensive scheme or what was going on then. 8 games with 2 or fewer receptions. So his floor was shit. 3 touchdowns on the year, 2 in 1 game. So he was not a red zone target. Caleb, the most inaccurate passer of all time, man. Open up Reddit. Just look at all the stuff coming out, man. 3 games inside the top 22. All others outside wide receiver 39. So he was only a flex option 3 games this season. The big thing here, man, Keenan Allen is a free agent this offseason. So they traded for him, did not re-sign him to a big deal. The new coach coming in, what is going to happen? If Keenan Allen is gone, I will be targeting Rome Odunze way over DJ Moore next season. I know DJ Moore will go higher, but I will be targeting Rome Odunze late. I'll just pass up DJ Moore, dude. Shaheed is next. Wide receiver 17, weeks 1 through 5 before the injury. So this fool was breaking out, man. This MVS came in and kind of looked like him for 3 games. There is a role in this offense for the deep threat. All right. So week 17, or wide receiver 17, weeks 1 through 5, that was with a 0 versus Philadelphia as well. So shit, dude, he could have been top 10 wide receiver, and he just scored some points. 3 touchdowns in those 6 games with the top 310 wide receiver finishes, dude. So in 6 games, half the time, that guy was a top 10 wide receiver. Holy shit. Averages 7 targets per game before the injury. So he is that deep threat, but still, dude, 7 targets a game. Undrafted free agent in 2022. He's only 26 years old, man. Vele, 27 years old as a rookie this year, dude, for the Broncos. Come on. Ricky Pearsall is up next. 18 targets and 2 touchdowns over the last 2 games of the season. He was wide receiver 7 and wide receiver 14 in those games. 1st-round draft pick. Debo is under contract, and this is why the only interest I have in Ricky Pearsall, because I'm not targeting a third wide receiver in this offense, man. The 2nd wide receiver is a bust, for God's sakes. So anyways, dude, Debo under contract through 2022. Trade his ass, man. Ayuk will be coming back from an injury, and he was not doing too well anyways. Jennings would be the one I'm afraid of, but they were more likely to line up on the outside with Ricky Pearsall in the middle. So, dude, if Debo gets traded, again, if they're going to get anything from Debo, they have to trade him this offseason. Maybe they'll wait until the next year, dude, but they've got so many wide receivers. They should trade him, and they need draft capital, dude. So I see Debo getting traded and Ricky Pearsall being a breakout candidate next season. And then, all right, cokeheads. Jalen Coker. Thielen. Dude, I keep on thinking I'm turning 40. Apparently I'm 30. I'm going to be turning 39. Holy shit. This fool is 35. I couldn't imagine. So next season, and the team has no clear number one wide receiver. That is what you're chasing in breakouts. So you're looking for teams with no true number one wide receiver. Adam Thielen is that, but he's not supposed to be, okay? Undrafted rookie, free agent this year, 6'3", 23 years old, dude. That fool's young. Again, man, Veal was 27 this year. 5th on the team in wide receiver snaps and played. So 40% of the snaps he was on the left side. Dude, 30% of the snaps in the slot. I actually love that. And 30% on the right side. So inside and out, 6'3", young. And I love the head coach there. So, dude, Jalen Coker, man, is worth rolling the dice on. Keon Coleman, number one outside wide receiver role, just waiting to be filled, man, ever since Stephon Diggs left. Right now, the number one wide receiver is the slot wide receiver in Shakur, and even he doesn't get consistent targets, man. So first round rookie draft pick. He's only 21 years old. Holy shit. He did not have great metrics in college, but it was all about that physicality and the high point catching. And you saw that a lot this year, actually. He had 7 targets in back-to-back games with 125 yards in one of those games and a touchdown in the other before getting injured in week 9. So he was just about to break out, got injured, dude. He did not return until week 15. Holy shit. Then he finished the season with 2 games of 7 targets, 10 targets, a receiving touchdown in one of those games. So he's coming back, man. And then also, they did not throw the ball this year at all relative. Go check out Josh Allen's stats, man. 483 pass attempts. That's the fewest he's had in the last 4 seasons. And that goes up to 567 was his previous low. He was like in the 600s before that. Holy shit, dude. He barely threw the ball this year. So if he just goes back to throwing the ball a little bit more, Keon Coleman, man, I might be targeting next season, especially late. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., okay, top 10 rookie draft pick, wide receiver 30, averaging 11.6 fantasy points per game as a rookie. That's not terrible, man. If it was anybody else, we'd be like, oh, that's not bad. But he was we spent a second round draft pick on his ass. So that is a bust. Huge bust at his ADP. He should be discounted heavily next year, dude. No Marvin Harrison Jr. owner is going to want to draft him again next year. 8+ targets in 4 of the last 6 games. I was talking about this on our show, dude. He was actually getting targeted a lot during the end of the season with 2 touchdowns and no 100-yard games in that stretch. Kyler might just suck, dude. We keep on waiting for Kyler to be great. He might just suck. Marvin Harrison Jr., man, very solid PFF grade. The problem is the QB play and the scheme. They just fired their offensive coordinator. Who's going to be coming in? So I am very excited to see who the offensive coordinator is. That might change my mind here. Same opportunity to be the dominant wide receiver 1 for the Cards next season. We need Kyler Murray to play better, and we need a great offensive coordinator. That is what we're looking for in the offseason for Marvin Harrison, man. And speaking of Marvin, we got 2 Marvins back-to-back. How often does that happen in this world? 3 top 13 wide receiver weekly finishes in the last 5 games, dude. So, shit. This guy was a wide receiver 1. It's like 70% of the time at the end of the year, man. 6 touchdowns over the last 7 games. Bo Nix ain't fucking around, dude. He's averaging 5.5 targets per game over the last month. His main competition is Veal. But again, dude, this guy is 22 years old, and Veal is 27 this year. He's going to be 28 next year, for all I know. And he was a second-round draft pick in 2023. So that means Sean Payton drafted this fool in the 2nd round. So Marvin Mims, man, they invested heavily, and the right guy picked him. Bo Nix and Sean Payton ain't going anywhere. I like Marvin Mims for upside next season relative to Veal. Veal might be a little bit more consistent, but give me that upside, man. Josh Downs. Indianapolis and Green Bay have wide receiver rooms to avoid. But, hey, man, they might draft another fucking quarterback. I have no idea. He was the 12th highest graded wide receiver on the year. Okay, so he's an amazing wide receiver. We know this. He was, a 3rd-round draft pick by Shane Steichen last season? He was, still the man. Anthony Richardson is the problem, man. A psychopath with a football in his hands. 3rd in snap count on the team behind Pittman and Pierce, who both stay on the field for the 2 wide receiver sets, man. So he is not running a ton of routes, and that sucks. But Joshua Downs, I think I would be drafting him late next year just to see what happens, okay? Because his upside is amazing. He is so good as a wide receiver. Demario Douglas. Drake May looks to like a decent starting quarterback, all right? They need wide receivers. Maybe he can play wide receiver as well. He had the highest target share, Demario Douglas did. He was the highest graded wide receiver. He had the most fantasy points per game on the for wide receivers on the Patriots at 8.8. But and he was second in snap count total behind Butte. So yeah, man, Demario Douglas is the guy to own for me. He was drafted. He was a 6th round draft pick in 2023. So this was his sophomore season. Entering his 3rd year, man, with Drake May entering a 2nd year. I like that. Who's going to be the head coach there? That really matters. 2 touchdowns over his last 4 games, but all of his high target games happened over the first half of the season. That does scare me. Seems like Butte was getting more targets over the second half. New coach could draft multiple wide receivers again. So we need to pay attention to the coach and the draft. But Demario Douglas, I love busting out. Cedric Tillman. All right, I kind of fucked up on this one, but whatever. Jameis Winston will be a free agent during the offseason. He wants to remain with the Browns. And the Browns are saying, all the Browns fans are like, we cannot keep him because we will be calling for his name, dude, no matter who's out there. Cedric Tillman averaged 10 targets a game with 3 touchdowns over a 4-game stretch before getting injured. I had this fool. I felt like a genius. I started him when nobody else did, and I reaped the benefits, dude. And then he got injured, and that was it. Jerry Jeudy stepped into his fucking role. Jameis Winston could start connecting with Jerry Jeudy, and that was it, dude. Missed the final 6 games after entering concussion protocol. I totally forgot about that. That is insane that he entered concussion protocol and never came back. So maybe they were just saving him? He was a 3rd round draft pick. Played with Hendon Hooker on Tennessee and the other Jalen Hyatt last season. So this was a sophomore bump, but still, he was so poised to break out if he did not get injured. Holy shit. Jerry Jeudy signed a 3-year extension with the Browns. So he's signed for the next 2 fucking years. They might trade him after next year, but Jerry Jeudy will remain a Brown this season. So that is scary. But yeah, dude, Cedric Tillman has potential to break out next season. Next up, Malik Washington. Tyreek wants out. Fuck him. If you're a Dolphins fan, who cares, man? 6th round rookie draft pick. Okay, so this guy was drafted by Mike McDaniels this year in the 6th round. Only outsnapped by Hill and Waddle. So he is the 3rd wide receiver there to own. I think he's like 5'8", but like 195 pounds. 5+ targets in 3 out of the last 4 games of the season. He had 0 receiving touchdowns, had 1 rushing touchdown. But the whole thing about this, if Tyreek Hill leaves, Waddle does not look that great either, dude. I would pick up Malik Washington late, like in the very last 2 or 3 rounds, man, and be happy about it and see what he does. And then lastly, Andre Iosivas. Higgins out weeks 1 through 2, limited week 3. During those 3 weeks without Higgins, man. Iosivas had 3 touchdowns in those 3 games. I told you all to start him in those games, all right? He was my next Puka Nakua. But yeah, he did not do as well as I thought he would, but he still got touchdowns, okay? Higgins set to be a free agent this offseason. They just paid him, or they're going to have to pay Jamar Chase. Are they going to pay both of them? I bet not. I bet you Higgins is gone, okay? Maybe he'll be a Washington Commander, some shit like that. 6th round draft pick in 2023. So Andre Iosivas, this was his 2nd year. But yeah, man, 6th round draft pick. I like Andre Iosivas if T. Higgins gets traded this offseason. All right, everybody, that is the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you actually did like this show, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me get sent out to more computers, man. And then they will give me more thumbs ups, and then I'll get sent out even more. So hopefully I earned that thumbs up. Hopefully I earned a subscription. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by, I don't know, man, the end of the NFL season. Please. So if you don't mind subscribing, that would be tremendous. So thank you so much for that. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward. This is the Fantasy Red Zone. We got our live drinking episode coming out on Fridays. That will be our award show, man. It will be fun. Check that out. This is Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.